Welcome back to another episode of the Chats with Clark podcast. I'm your host, Joe Clark, and here at Chats with Clark, we don't do poppy intros. We get straight to the point, and the point of episode 56 is one of the most beloved creative minds in Cleveland, co-founder of FOUNT, Jackie Wachter. Jackie, thanks for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me. I am thrilled to be here. I love doing podcasts, so I'm really excited.
I'm excited to be here. We're in FOUNT's warehouse right now, where all the magic happens. And when we walked in, you could smell the leather. It was just great. I'm debuting a question today, which I told Jackie I was doing, but I didn't tell her the question. And Jackie, the question is very simply, what is the best thing that there is to know about you?
Oh, geez. Well, I guess one thing people don't know about me, because I love to have fun. I love to have fun, and I try to make work fun, because I love to have fun in my personal life, but I'm you're at work more probably than you are at home in your waking hours. So I love my job, and we try to make it an environment that's fun, not only for Philip and I, but for our whole staff, because if we all love coming here, then we're going to really put our hearts and souls into it. So we're definitely a work hard, play hard culture. And it's just, if I could, I would literally work 60 or 80 hours a week, because I love, love, love my job. And at the end of the day, I know a lot of people are like, oh, thank God I'm done. Yeah. I'm like, I wish I could stay for 5 more hours, but then I also love to go home and see my family. So it's, I feel really blessed that I have a job that I care this much about. And I feel passionate about the work that we're doing, because we're making bags that are anti-fast fashion, right? They're made to last a lifetime. And what a lot of people don't know about me is that I'm kind of crunchy, a little more granola than people realize, because I really believe that we shouldn't be having junk that goes into the landfill. I think that I'm very passionate about taking care of the earth. And so with our bags, they have a lifetime guarantee. So people come up to me constantly and they say, I've been carrying this tote every single day for 10 years. I'm like, that's so cool, because there's not very many things we own that we've been able to use that long. So I feel really proud that we created this thing that actually met the goal we had when we first started FOUNT.
It's interesting. I was planning on getting to it later in the podcast, but we're going to dive right into it. Kind of matching the creativity with the longevity, I feel, is such a task, right?
Oh.
Because so often we sacrifice one for the other, because we can make things look one way and maybe it doesn't last, and vice versa. But a video that you guys had that had gone viral, which stands out to me, is when you were standing there putting literal bricks into the bag, basically talking about, dare I say, even in boasting the truth that the strap had never broken in over, I think at that point, 11 years.
Yeah, and we're 11 and a half years in as a business. And it was this kind of thing during COVID. We were asked when all the shows had stopped, because we used to do 52 pop-up shows around the country at all these art shows and festivals. And they had stopped, but one of the art festivals called, Renegade. Yes, that's it. It was in Chicago. They asked us to do a live thing on our brand. And so we told the audience, we said, we're going to do all these strength tests. And one of the strength tests was that we hung it on a rack full of bricks and filled it up. And we actually ended up leaving that for months and months and months and never had it break. We now have them at all of our stores full of 16 bricks. And they just hang there for years. And we've never had one break. And then my husband's 180 pounds, and he does pull-ups on them. We drove over it with the Tahoe and turned the wheels on it, and then conditioned it, and it looks brand new again. We threw it down 5 flights of stairs full of bricks, and all these strength tests. So that's something we're really proud of, is making a product that's just made to last, in a world where everything falls apart quickly. You're making an investment piece, right? And it's we say that they're heirloom in quality. So yeah, we've never had a single strap break on our totes in 11 and a half years, which is really cool. And then if we do have a complimentary repair service. So if a little stitch comes loose, you'll have a little thread here or there come loose, and then they send it to our stores or back to the studio, and we do a complimentary repair. So one of the girls here at the studio, that's her full-time job, is to if a tassel stretches out or a snap comes off a pocket, those are things that most brands, even high-end brands, will not fix for you. We just do it complimentary.
It's incredible. I feel like that is really what pushes it too. I think about like even like a Lululemon, it's kind of that design where it's like, you know what, we believe so much in this that we will replace it for you. We want to make sure that your quality is lasting.
Yeah.
How did you guys originally come to that? Because the bags are beautiful too. So it's not even like some of those, I feel like sometimes we look at some boots and I'm like, it's really not an aesthetic looking boot, but I'm sure it lasts forever. That is not the case, right? Your leather is gorgeous, the bags are great, and of course it's now testing time too.
Yeah, thank you. You know, when we design, so I am the creative director of the brand, but my husband's very involved in the design too. And then we have 2 girls on our design team now. So as we've grown, we've really tried to grow our design area. And when we design, we try to think of like what women want. We have a little bit of men's product too, but really what women want for practicality purposes, and then just simplifying it because it's almost like really good food. It's got maybe like really small amount of ingredients, but they're really good ingredients. Like you think of premium ice cream, it usually says 4 ingredients, right? So we just really use the best ingredients. So it's like beautiful, premium full grain leather, solid brass hardware, Swiss made zippers, and artisanal sewing techniques. So with those ingredients, then we can guarantee the quality.
It's amazing. Give us a little bit of the background, Jackie. How did the idea come about that Philip and you start a bag company?
Yeah, it's hilarious. So like when I first met Philip, I was reading this book called The Artist's Way. And if people haven't done it, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. It's like a 12-week program. And I didn't necessarily do it in that way, but you follow this, like you read every day and then you journal for 30 minutes. And then once or twice a week, you take yourself on these artist dates. So we're in this kind of cool creative flow. I was a kindergarten teacher and he was in film production. And that first Christmas we were dating, we decided to make each other all homemade Christmas gifts. I had gone to design school, but I didn't get into fashion design. Out of school, I ended up becoming a teacher. But I had sewn him this like pencil case and laptop case out of some beautiful camel hair Ralph Lauren wool I had left over from my tailoring class from Coats. Wow. And so I made him this really cool pouch with like hand hammered brass snaps and everything. And he got it and he loved it. And he said, well, wouldn't this be really like handsome with some leather on it? And I was like, oh yeah, but I've never sewn leather. Don't you need special tools and a machine? So we started like deep diving into leather working, and we joke around because like most couples, like when they first start dating, like want to go out to restaurants and bars. We would like, he lived in Virginia and I lived here in Cleveland. He'd come visit and I'd be like, yay, we get to make wallets.
It's amazing.
Yeah, we would just like all weekend long, like work on all these prototypes. So then we started gifting them to friends and family, and friends and family started buying them for their friends and family. And then within a couple of months, my best friend's mom commissioned me to design a bag. And that was really scary. I had not before we were doing every single part by hand, but to do the body of a bag, you really do need to use a sewing machine. So we ended up getting a sewing machine off Craigslist, and it was like a beast of a machine that this guy had replaced the motor with a lawnmower motor. And truth be told, we plugged it in the wall and it caught the wall on fire because it was like too powerful. So we're like learning about all these tools. We invested in a really nice machine and made our first totes. And that very first tote is our Belfield tote. And it's still our #1 selling tote style to this day.
That's the one that has the bricks, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's one we're like really known for.
There's so many truths in there, Jackie, right? Like first I think about just Philip and you had to learn so much about each other. When you have a common goal and you're working towards it together, you're going to learn probably far more than if you went and sat at dinner with someone who went to the bar with someone, like you were saying, in the preliminary stages of dating, or even later on. And then secondly, there's always, I think, that first person that like believes in you. Obviously outside of Philip, but I mean someone that's like, I'll pay you. Like your friend's mom was like, I'll pay you for this, right? And I think we can all, we can all look back, and every business person I think can look back and say, oh, I remember that person. I remember when things started to shift like that.
Yeah, and they're like so dear. She's still a really dear, dear friend. Nikki's still my best friend, and her mother-in-law who commissioned me. I just think about that all the time. Like, I don't think I would have taken that step, and I think God uses certain things on your path. Like, it was a really big challenge, and it took me like a month and dozens of prototypes until we had that sample done for her, and a lot of wasted leather and a lot of learning. But like, I'm so thankful for it.
Amen. Yeah.
And it's been like it's been the whole entrepreneur journey has been a learning curve. And I listen a lot to How I Built This.
Oh yeah.
And it's a great podcast. If you guys haven't heard it,
good.
It's a business podcast, but it makes me feel so normal because sometimes I'm like, gosh, is it really supposed to be this hard? Like I'll make stupid mistakes. Like Philip and I, and we'll just, like be hustling and really invest our time somewhere and it doesn't pan out. And then we realize something was a bigger opportunity than we gave it. And like, you're just trying to figure out like, where do you put your energy? Where do you put your money? Where do you put your resources to make this thing grow? And it's just a giant learning curve. And when you listen to podcasts or other entrepreneurs, you're like, oh, they all went through the same thing.
Right.
And I think a big part is to listen to people who are older and wiser than you and have done it before, because they'll tell you, oh, I don't know if that's wise to put your energy there. I would put it here. And having the humility to listen and knowing that like they've gone before you. And even though their personal experience might be not the same thing that you're doing, right? Might be a different kind of business. Like they have decades of wisdom that I really value. So we have mentors that we really look up to.
Who are some of the biggest influences for you, whether you know them or not?
Yeah. Well, my parents, they were entrepreneurs. They had a wire manufacturing business, wire harnesses. And so they're just super wise. And it's sometimes hard to listen to them. Sometimes easier to listen to people who aren't your family, but they are just super wise and super, super great to Philip and I with helping us make decisions. So we always try to run our big decisions by them, and they're really great. They're really, really great. And I don't think we'd be here without them.
Much less of a flair there in wire harnesses than in a bag. So
Yeah, but like super cool business.
Totally,
Like they got to make the innards of Hummers and the innards of Vitamix and the innards of like lots of tractors.
Yeah, wow.
So like it was, and core convertibles and like all kinds of cool stuff. So it was cool in its own way.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
When you hear that, absolutely. And when you have something that's integral and needed, then it is what it is, right? That's right. That's the name of the business.
Yeah. So and then we have another mentor. His name is Michael Radin, and he's in Columbus. And he was the CEO of Justice. And before that, Paxton and I believe Sperry or and Limited Too. So he's brilliant, like literally brilliant in retail. So he's become like just such a resource to us, and we just treasure his friendship and his mentorship.
It's amazing. That's another part of it too. When I think about it, it's always people, right? I think everything comes back to people, and whether it's you're learning from them, whether it's the person that pushed you, like Nikki's mother-in-law, pushing you, right, and giving you that next step. But there's something about just people in your corner that provides an extra set of confidence and that divine companionship that we need.
Pushing you to take that next step, right? Like it's just life is just a little journey. We're all just on a little journey.
Along that journey, Jackie, at some point you guys decided, okay, we're dating for, I'm sure, a little bit of time now. We have some prototypes. We like where we're going. How did you know that you could scale it to a point that you were going to leave teaching kindergarten and make this a reality?
Oh, that's a great question. So it was kind of funny. We were only 3 months in to actually making bags. And I had not gone into fashion design, but I was a teacher and I loved being a teacher. But I really felt like my calling was fashion design. And like since I was a little girl, like I would wake up and just get so excited to get dressed. I love getting dressed. Like I would pick my outfits out for the week since I was 3 years old. And like always making clothes for my Barbies. Like I loved fashion since I was out the womb.
Yeah.
And anyway, 3 months into like making these prototypes and things, we were selling at the Cleveland Fleet.
Okay.
And the Cleveland Flea was happening, and we were like really, so all my friends were modeling for us, and they just wear my clothes. I'd get them all dressed in like these cute little outfits, and my husband would take their pictures because he was really good at tech, and he made our website. So we're just trying to make ourselves look like a real company.
Sure.
At this point, we'd only sold like 10 bags though, and lots of little walls and stuff, like nothing crazy.
Yeah. Hey, everyone starts with their first time, right?
Right.
Yeah, so.
And that's true. That's true. And so 3 months in, a magazine called Country Living saw our Instagram and thought like we were a little bit bigger company than we were. And so they asked us like, hey, can you overnight us 3 bags? We want to include you in our next spread called Making a Country Living. And Philip and I cracked up because we both had other jobs. They're like, do they know we've sold like 10 bags? We're like, not exactly making a living.
Sure.
And we're like, but we had no bags made because we had just had a Cleveland Flea. And each bag at that time took over 13 hours to make because it was 510 hand punched holes for the straps. And then the bodies of the bag you sewed by machine, and they were all hand stitched. And so it was a very lengthy process.
Oh, wow.
So we all stayed up overnight, made these. I think we only were able to get 2 done. Maybe we got 3 done. I don't remember. And overnighted on there. And it was just wild. We're like, well, we'll see what happens with this. And about a month and a half later, maybe 2 months later, we get like this ping on Philip's phone. We were out with friends, and it's like a ping, and it's like, you have an order in Iowa. And then like 20 minutes later, you have an order in Idaho. Ping, you have an order. And we had never gotten a single online order before, let alone in Cleveland. And I was like, is your phone broken?
Oh,
and then he's like, oh my gosh, maybe that magazine came out, because it was the October issue, and this was like still in September, but I think it comes out a little early.
Yeah.
And so we drove to Dave's Market, and there it was, and we flipped it open, and we were like at the centerfold of this magazine. But we didn't know at that time, that magazine at that time 12 years ago was second in readership only to Oprah.
What?
And so we got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of orders coming in, but we were making everything like by hand, just the two of us in our spare time. So we both quit our jobs, hired 9 people to help us make all these bags. And it was amazing. We like ordered some machinery to help us, like with clicker presses. They're 25 tons of pressure that like can click out the things instead of hammering 510 holes. And we like worked on our efficiencies. So we're like getting these hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of orders out, which was amazing. We're on cloud 9, right? And then after the Christmas season hits, I always ask people, like, that next January, like, how many bags do you think we sold?
Given the tone of this, maybe 5?
3.
Okay, yeah.
Good guess. But like literally 3. And we had all these employees. So we were panicking. So then we decided to try to find more Cleveland Flea type art shows around the country. And that's when we started traveling nonstop to art shows. So we'd sew all week and sell all weekend. Sew all week, sell all weekend. Chicago, New York, Atlanta, DC, Columbus, Cincinnati, like you name it, we'd go. And that's how we kind of, got the brand out. But within 2 years, we had sold to all 50 states, which was really cool.
Yeah, that is.
And then I was so exhausted, because by then we had a newborn baby. This is about like 2 years of doing like that many shows. And I prayed to God. I was like, God, I cannot keep this up. I am so exhausted, and I can't take a baby with me to these shows. It's so hard. And then Cleveland Hustles literally emailed us. It was a company called the Magical Elves, who puts on like Shark Tank and all those production shows, and asked if we wanted to be on their show. If we won, we got a brick and mortar, a storefront, which we didn't actually want a brick and mortar, because we had heard that retail was dying and everything was online. Yeah. So we did it for the online press, for like national CNBC coverage. And little did we know the blessing of like having a brick and mortar was going to be the best thing that ever happened to our business.
Oh my gosh. The story gives me chills. I can't stop smiling. It's like just like one of those feel good, really it is. Like it's one of those feel good stories.
Yeah. It's like, it's amazing how like, if you just have faith to keep going, it just always works out.
Kevin O'Leary was just on Stephen Bartlett's podcast, if you want to Diary of a CEO, and he was like, he's saying, and O'Leary, of course, mad success within a lot of his endeavors, and it just keeps going. And he said, I think there's just luck. At the end of the day, some of it's luck. Yeah. But it's like that where
when luck comes, I call them blessings, but when luck comes, you just grab it by the reins and ride it. Just like, let's get it.
Country living.
You literally, when an opportunity comes, you just grab it and ride it like a bull and hope not to fall off.
True.
And that's like, so we actually have a really big opportunity happening like today.
Okay.
That's what they're on that meeting about. But
it's Chats with Clark.
Opportunity means preparation, right? Yeah. So it's like been months and months of preparing for this big opportunity. And then you just pray that it gets as big as it can get, right? So, but you show up and give it your all first.
Just go in there. How important is the consistency for you? Right. I mean, especially you hit that second year mark, you've hit sales in 50 states. You already had your dip in January.
Yeah.
What was it like for Philip and you to say, all right, we're going to keep this thing going, we're going to keep moving? And then you were leaving off a little bit at that brick and mortar standpoint. Did that just catapult you?
Well, I wouldn't say catapult.
Okay.
It was like a slow, steady growth, And they say in business, a slow, steady growth is actually healthy, So we just had that one little brick and mortar, but to us, it felt huge. It felt like a huge success and a huge win. I'm sorry, I got distracted about the question. You asked me
just about the value of the consistency.
Value of consistency. Yeah. Thank you. Consistency is huge, and just showing up. It's like a workout, right? You don't get results after one workout. You just get results after showing up over time, right? Same thing with a garden. It's like you have to tend it. It's like daily tending and showing up and planning ahead. Like right now, what we're trying to do to grow our brand, the best thing our mentor says to do, the best marketing we could ever do is launch more products. And he is so right. So the consistency of like developing new products and launching new products has been huge for us. And just I think it was LeBron James that was saying that old Teddy Roosevelt quote about being the man in the arena. He writes it on his shoe because it's like to have the courage to go out and do it and show up and just get knocked down and knocked down and knocked down. And like so much of what we try doesn't work. But then the stuff that does work, you have to really celebrate that and do more of that. And don't get hung up on what didn't work. Just do more of what worked. So it's sort of like getting like a tough skin to the stuff that didn't work and don't get hung up on it. Just like celebrate your wins and do more, like learn from them and keep doing more of that.
You got to recognize it. And what's so cool about selling things is that it sounds so apparent, but it's almost obvious because someone's buying it. Literally, so you see, it's like, okay, this is selling. Let's stick with that.
Yeah.
You know, like scrap the rest.
Yeah. If it doesn't sell, the customer clearly told you they don't want it. And one thing we've gotten, like, it's another like humility thing, right? It's like sometimes as a designer, I want to design these like crazy outlandish designs, but you have to design what your customer wants or they're not going to buy it. So we've gotten really good at celebrating the customer, listening to the customer, honoring them, and even asking for, what do you want? Like, what bag do you want us to design? And they will literally tell you what they want. And then if you go make it for them, you'll sell them. Like, it's like amazing. So it's like a lot of our designs are just things that customers have told us that they wanted. We want an exterior pocket. We want a crossbody. We want it smaller. It needs more pockets. So then we just, if you listen, your customer will respond, right? They're telling you because they want to put their dollars with you, right? They're not telling you like to be frustrating. They're like telling you because if you do the thing that they are asking for, they're going to spend their money with you, you know? So it's just like, I think one thing like brands and whether it's a service or whether it's a product, I think the more you listen to your customer, it's like just the best thing you can do for your brand.
That humility is so important. You're so right. I mean, why would you not?
Why would you not?
Right? Why would you not?
Yeah. And then there's time to have those kind of crazy, wild, outlandish products just to like have them for fun and the excitement factor. But so my mentor always talks about the fashion pyramid. And at the base of the pyramid, I'll do it like this so everyone can see. At the base of the pyramid, that's going to be the bulk of your sales, right? The next level up, and this is on the bulk of your sales, those are going to be like your most kind of like standard products. Like what does everyone want?
So is that the Belfield tote?
Right, that's the Belfield tote, and some of our most like classic designs, but the Belfield tote is a perfect example. Then the next level up is a little more fashiony, and it gets more fashiony as you go up. But most people want those like standard everyday products. At the top of the pyramid, it's just for the excitement of it. It's like candy. It's almost like the food pyramid. You don't want a ton of candy. Everybody loves it, but it's not healthy for you to just have candy. You need that like kind of base. So
how do you decide, Jackie, which markets to get into or how to expand?
That's hard.
Aside from listening, aside from just listening, right? Like, so you guys just opened in what, Alpharetta, was it, Georgia? So congrats on that. It's amazing.
That's been incredible.
Okay. So like that, like how did you decide there? How do you decide what markets you want to dive into?
Google. We just
I love it.
Yeah, we literally just Googled like where are the top 10 shopping centers in America?
Oh, is it? Okay.
Let's go there. But we really do need to stay in a region because we have a store in Texas. And it's like really hard to get to for our regional manager to do trips there and for us to do trips, different time zone, and people there have never heard of us. So our mentor suggests that it's best to saturate a region. And there's a reason, so like really because, for example, like Cleveland, right? We've got East Side, West Side, and a lot of people from the East Side never make it to the West Side because your circle that you're running to and your daily traffic is maybe just there. So when we got a East Side store, it was like, whoa, we just saw this huge surge in customers.
Really?
Because
Okay.
family and friends who've been hearing about our brand for years finally had somewhere to go because they weren't ever making it to our downtown store. And they're like, whoa, that went so amazing. Let's get a Far West store. So then we opened up Crocker Park and then just skyrocketed. And so the more, I mean, you don't want to be too close, right? But you see this all the time with food. Like they'll get like one chain, local chain of food. Like let's do Mitchell's Ice Cream, for example.
Yeah.
They have them all over Cleveland in proximity to where people are going, right? So, you know, you hear about it and you're like, oh, I know this is a trusted, beloved brand, but I never got to go because it's on the other side of town. So you, I think we're going to try to saturate areas more now.
Okay.
Yeah. It makes it easier for our regional manager to pop around too and help and check on them. I'd like check on, you know, what do the teams need at those other stores.
So it's interesting to hear that you're working on more brick and mortars after originally maybe some apprehension towards the first brick and mortar, even though it was kind of...
Yeah. After working with the Cleveland Research Company, which is amazing, we found that the vast majority of handbag sales, over a few $100s, are made in person. They're anything in the luxury market, people want to shop that in person.
Touch it, feel
And
it, see the whole,
yes, touch it, feel it, smell it, see how it fits on your body, see how heavy it is, see how your stuff fits inside. You don't want to place a $500 order online and then have to return it. So a lot of our online sales, online is actually our biggest store at this time.
Okay.
For in the first time in the history of the company.
Wow.
It was very exciting because we have so many customers who trust us now, or they've seen it in person and then they buy their next one online.
Your name, it precedes itself now. I mean, that's huge.
Oh, thanks.
No, I mean, seriously, right? Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, it's like once people get the product and trust it and know it and love it, they feel more comfortable to buy it online. They know what to expect. But to buy something for the first time at a high price point, I don't like to return things, like even if it's a low price point, when it's a high price point, it's just like, it's a little stressful.
Yeah.
So they're finding the luxury market is still really liking to shop in person.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, I was curious about that because I didn't realize that there was a big shopping area down in Alpharetta. So it's like interesting that
it's beautiful.
That makes sense. You know what I mean? Because you want to stay where all the people are, of course,
Yeah.
too. Right? When there's customers there, then you might as well tap into it.
Yeah, it's a great. It's a lot like Crocker Park. It's one long shopping center and just highly activated with events. So there's always foot traffic there.
When you look at other brands, do you try and take from any of their influence, or do you want to stand on your own? Because, like, something just to give you a nod, I suppose, like so Jackie always has this look. This is Jackie's look. We were kind of talking about it a little bit earlier, right? It's like the sundress and the hat. Like, I think the consistency with the brand is just something that's so important. Personally, and then just, of course, from a business standpoint, too.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you derive influence from other brands, but also stay you?
Yeah, we don't, if I'm honest, like we don't really take too much from other brands because our customer really wants classics.
Okay.
So our mission, like as the creative director, is to try to look at our product line, see where the holes are in it. And this is my mentor always says, to look for the holes in the line and see what product you need to fill. So how many more crossbodies do you need? How many more belt bags do you need? How many more styles? Like what are people buying from you? And if our belt bags are really high, which they're really high, do more belt bags. You know, like give them 3 more options, because if there's a group of friends who all love FOUNT, they don't want the same style, same color. Mm-hmm. They're gonna want variety. Or somebody got one and they loved it, but they want something new next year. So you look for the holes in your product line and try to fill it. And then when I design, along with our design team, Lindsay and Danielle, we try to do really classic, because number one, it appeals to a lot of styles. Like, I call our bags an anchor for your wardrobe. So a lot of times I wear kind of little wild clothing, but I feel like my bags always kind of ground it or anchor it. And then they go with everything. And they really complement a lot of women's styles or men's, like ranging from, you know, preppy to bohemian to more like even street style. Like they really do go with a lot of styles because they're classic and simple and traditional. And then going with our mission to be conscientious of fast fashion and circular fashion and just being not super trendy. We try to make things that are heritage looking and classic, because those are actually the brands that endure over time. You know, you look at Ralph Lauren and some of those, even like something like J. Crew or Banana Republic, they stick around, right? Because they're very traditional and classic. But like all of the heritage, like high-end brands like Hermes, Louis Vuitton, Gucci, they have their sort of kind of classics, and then they have their fun stuff too.
Exactly.
But most people are buying the classics. So
yeah, and I think that the real market for those companies are the ones that are buying the classics too, right?
yeah, you don't see a ton of outlandish bags walking around, right? Yeah. I mean, it's fun. Yeah. You know, it's like fun to have fun with fashion, but again, it goes back to that bottom part of the pyramid. So we really do try to go a little more traditional because we do call our bags heirloom in quality, meaning that like when you're done with them, you can pass it on to your daughter or your like family members. Like I hope that people have stories of, I got this from my grandma, I got this from my mom, you know? But then we also just started the patina shop. Have you heard about that?
No, I'm not.
Okay, cool. So it's something like we've been wanting to do for years. We want to do a secondhand market for FOUNT. And what it is, it's a buyback program. So we'll buy back people's old FOUNT bags because some people have over 20 FOUNT bags. Wow. And we'll buy back ones that they bought that they find that they're not using anymore, or they got it and didn't use it as much as they thought they would. And depending on the condition, they get different levels of gift cards back to FOUNT so they can get something new for themselves. And then those kind of bags, we refurbish them, clean them. We do complimentary conditioning anytime you come in with your FOUNT bag. And we'll just do any little minor repairs, clean them, give them mostly just a deep cleaning, and then we resell them in our own stores. So it's at a
great idea.
And people love it because over the years, we've had so many discontinued colors and styles because we do all these color drops and style drops. And so now we've got this really fun section in the store of discontinued things that are kind of like a treasure hunt.
It's vintage, right?
Oh, it's vintage. Like and vintage, people love it. And they're at a lower price point. So it's a nice entry-level price point for someone who's new to the brand or, you know, younger and like working on being able to afford investment pieces. So
that's a real cool way to stay like contemporary without going into fast fashion. Right?
Yeah.
Because that whole vintage market right now, that not resale, but being on the other side of it, that repurposing and that rebuying market is so big.
So big.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy to hear that because I'm a huge antique and thrift store shopper. Like I love secondhand cowboy boots, like everything, like farmer's market. Most of what I wear, even my jewelry is secondhand. Not all of it. These are local artists, but I just love secondhand. I think it's a really cool way to make what's old new and like give it new life. There's something about it that it's like things have like, I don't know, you can almost like feel the love that went into the person who took the time to make the thing. I really respect that, you know?
So much of a story to it.
So much of a story to it that like everything we use, someone made it, you know? And so you really feel that with certain products that are artisanally made. And so I really love our secondhand market and it's been such a hit. And we're now doing it 4 times a year, the buyback event, and then they're for sale in the stores. Not online yet because it's harder for people to see them.
Do you know when the next one is off the top of your head?
It just happened like 2 weeks ago. So the next one will be in November.
Awesome.
But they're so fun. So follow our Instagram. Yeah. If you sign up for our email, you'll get you'll be the first to know. But they're a weekend long of buyback, and then they get refurbed, and then they're in the stores. So there's always a little batch of fun treasures in there now.
I was used to joke about that with my first car. It was a total beater, and it was just like it was almost like a bug game. I think it was tiny. But that's what I always said. Like when everyone had commentary, because it stood out, even amongst the fellow beaters and like high school stuff. It stood out. It was a beater, and that was what I always said, was that there's a lot of story to it, right?
There's a lot of story to it.
Who do you think drove this thing? Someone with a really great background drove this thing. Like, it's a crazy story. Like
it's funny. Cars are like that. Yeah. Like I really feel that with my car.
So much
like,
character.
Because it gets you from here to there. It's like good old faithful. You know, I feel that. I always name my cars.
Do you really?
Yeah, Chiquita is.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
No, that was
my little Mini Cooper.
We had a dog that had the name of my car, so it didn't work. But by the way, quick shout out to Coco, who's just been sleeping here.
She's an earth angel.
For those that are watching right now, for those of you that are not watching, there's just the sweetest dog right here on Jackie's hip.
She's my sidekick. She goes literally everywhere with me.
The second we walked in, we heard the clicking of the of the nails on the ground.
She's a little grateful French bulldog. If nobody's watching, she's a rescue. She's an earth angel.
Beautiful.
She's nearly deaf, can't see well, but she can sure love.
Gosh, so sweet. Jackie, for your heirloom bags, something I was curious about, how does the design team and you determine that you're at the end of the prototype phase and that this is the product that you're putting out?
Ooh, that's a great question. So we do all our sampling and prototyping in-house, and usually what we do, it lengthens the timeline, but we wear those prototypes. So someone here on our team will just say, hey, who wants to borrow this and wear it hard? You know, like try to beat it up, put it on the ground, like really beat it up. Don't be gentle on it. And we just sample it and see how the corners roll up, see how things age. At this point, we've been doing it 12 years, so we're pretty good at like knowing how things are going to age in certain areas. But we definitely do a lot of wearing it, and we'll just go back and forth. And we're also trying to think of, while we're designing in the manufacturing process, where's the production team going to have a hard time? Like if it's hard for the master sewers and the design team to, you know, get a certain corner right, it's definitely going to be hard in production. So we're really always trying to think of in the design process, like how to really make the product where it's going to last, like making sure the stitching's in a place where it won't wear, your ending, like your start stitch and your end stitch, like it's a lot. So we fine tooth comb it, and like with experience, right, everything gets easier.
Absolutely.
So we've sort of learned on some of our previous bags where we saw significant aging, and like have learned how to avoid those things now. So
it's so fascinating. Every time you've referenced just the quality, it keeps coming up, right? So we're talking about the design. First thing you go to is the quality.
Oh, thanks.
And yeah, and even from the aesthetic, right? I suppose that you've kind of got that down too. You listen to your audience, you know, to keep it classic. And
yeah. Well, anytime we over design, they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. What is this? Because we like try to keep it simple, you know?
Jackie, I have a closing litany that I always run down, and it's 4 questions to kind of wrap up everything and to tie everything in together. The first one is near and dear to my heart. My contention is that people who live gratefully just have better lives.
Say that.
Yeah,
that's good.
They're happier, they love it, right? They love life, and just make the most of it.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, what role does gratitude play in your life?
Oh, so big, so big, so big. So I try to journal every morning, like a letter to God, and just say thank you for literally anything that comes up. And I try to practice that with our kids, and my husband's really good with that, because we have so much to be thankful for.
Amen.
And if we take time to just like focus on the negative, there's always negative. And I'll be honest, I try not to surround myself with people who, there's certain people who you hang out with them and they just want to talk about what's bad. And I have this phrase, I'm like, tell me what's good.
Yeah.
Tell me like what's good.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like, if we focus on what's good, there's so much good, right?
Yeah, it's a muscle too.
It's a muscle,
right?
Yeah,
Same
it's
way
totally
you can train
a
it to
muscle.
be negative, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I've always found that that's it, right? Like, I was just having a conversation recently for a podcast, and it's like, no matter what the situation is, you can always find the light in it.
Find it.
Yeah.
Find that silver lining.
And then when you have that, it just becomes easier.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, that negative stuff you're right. It's almost like insufferable.
Yeah.
When you're around it too much. I'm like, I can't do this.
It's draining.
It is. Yeah.
It's unnecessarily draining. And I think there's like a time to mourn and a time to, you know, you don't want to never give attention to those things, right? There's a time for it.
Of course.
But then when is it time to move on? And like, that can't be your daily life, right?
Right.
Like, you know.
Yeah, sweating the small stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was
Let the small be small.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And then when there is big stuff, you know, you deal with it.
A priest that I'm very close to, that's what he always says. He's like, let's not have a high mass over it. He's like,
Oh.
just mean, right? Like not making a mountain out of a molehill. And
That's good.
It's so good. I always think about that.
Let's not have a high mass over it. That's great.
It's super great.
I like that. I'm gonna remember that one.
It ends up being so applicable in daily life. I mean, I catch myself. I'm like, all right, is it that big a deal? Joe, just relax. You know.
Yeah,
keep
that's
it moving
good.
here.
Yeah, because like let the small be small and let the big be big.
Amen.
Know?
Yeah, and you have to have to celebrate the big too. So
yeah.
The next question, Jackie. Do you have any regrets in your life?
Oh.
And if so, what have you learned from them?
Well, you know, if I'm honest, prior to COVID, we were working so much, like so much. I would drop our kids off at their daycare at like 7 a.m, the earliest you're allowed to get there. And I pick them up at 6, the latest you're allowed to get there.
Oh, man,
and I was just a workaholic. And so I feel like COVID actually for our family, as hard as it was in some ways for us, but then I want to honor that it was really hard for a lot of people.
Of course.
You know?
Of course, yeah.
But it really opened my eyes that I don't have to work those hours. You know, that I can work hard when I'm here and then do a little bit outside of work, you know, like I have to take a couple calls or emails or whatever, you know, but really try to be present with my kids and have normal working hours, because I can tend to be a workaholic because I actually love it. But that I don't want to lose that time with my kids because you don't get it back. So like I sort of regret that, and I'm getting teary-eyed.
Yeah, no,
But-
sorry. Yeah, it's one of the biggest things I think I've learned too, is that like to really just be present and to make sure that you schedule things in as you want them to be, and then to just kind of embrace it when you're there.
Yeah.
It's anything, listen to any conversations I've had with people who dabble with a lot of different things, right? Like you have a lot on your plate, from being a mom to a wife to, of course, the business. I mean, there's so much.
Yeah.
And a grandiose scale too. Those are all very important things. So
Thanks.
yeah, to be able to manage it all and to make the most of it, I think is so, yeah, so important. So that's awesome. I mean, it's a great.
I think during
way.
that chapter we like missed a bunch, like a couple of weddings that I really should have gone to, but instead I went to art shows like out of the state. And I was like, I can't miss this one. It's a big one, you know? And then like we missed a few family vacations because I can't miss the show.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was our livelihood. But at the same time, I wonder if like I could have missed it and still been okay. Because
Sure.
now we're not doing nearly that many and we're still growing, you know? So I think I've learned since COVID, I don't have to kill myself for this thing to keep growing, you know?
Yeah, the balance.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible. It's good. Yeah, thank you for your vulnerability with it all too. I mean, it's just so touching.
Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. A little bit simpler of a question for you.
Okay.
I think that a philosophy of mine is that there's always should be something on your calendar that you're looking forward to. And
Oh.
I guess it's kind of fitting with when we're talking art shows and the book of the calendar, but a little bit
Yeah.
differently. So what's on your calendar, Jackie, that you're looking forward to?
Oh my gosh. Well, we are super social as a family. And like literally this week I planned a popsicle party
Okay.
for my
That's
kids.
So cool.
Yeah, because we moved to a new neighborhood, but we don't know people yet.
Okay.
So I said, hey, everybody, there's a little lake in the neighborhood with a beach. And I said, I just sent out like a Facebook to the Facebook group and said like, hey, bring your kids. I'm going to have popsicles.
That's amazing.
I know,
Yeah.
right? So we, people always say, I don't know how you have time to plan these things, but I plan a ton of events for our friend group because it helps me have something to look forward to.
Yeah.
And I feel like I don't want to miss out and be like, oh, I just worked my whole life. I want to make sure that I also have the fun. So we definitely work hard and play hard, but I'm always packing the social calendar.
I don't,
Yeah.
I don't, not to speak for you, but I get that too. I'm the
Yeah.
same, like, with the same type of personality, I feel like, again, not to speak for you, but just when you're blessed to have good people around you, you want
Yes.
to spend that time and you want to make it happen. And
Yeah.
it's like, that's how I am too. I'm always organizing things, and whether it's local basketball that we're playing or whether it's
cool.
like the trip, right? Like whatever, everything in between, whether it's the
Yeah.
popsicle party or probably something large and social for the company. Like it's everything
Right?
in between.
Everything in between. We actually try to do a family bucket list every
So
season.
cool.
So we have like a fall, winter, spring, and summer family bucket list. And it might sound kind of crazy, but I actually do check boxes and how many times we need to do everything. Because I'm like, if we want to go on the towpath, like my husband loves to bike the towpath, and then we ride the train back. We
yeah.
put like how many times we want to do that to like really feel like we got that in. And then we can look back and see like, did we actually do the stuff we wanted to do? Like if we want to go swim in Lake Erie and go have a beach day, like, okay, how many times do you want to do that? And then it gives you like an honest, then you schedule it in. Do you follow Jesse? I forget his last name.
Itzler.
Yes.
Yes.
And so he's big on this. Like you
Yeah.
schedule your fun in and like schedule your best friends and your family members that you really want to spend time with. You pencil them in because if you don't, all of a sudden time went
Correct.
by and you're like, oh, I haven't seen her in a year. And it's like, it sounds silly, but I really do pencil our fun in.
Yeah, you have to. It's
Yeah.
a good buddy of mine. His name's Dave. Dave always does. He's so good at following up with people.
Oh,
It's one
that's
of the things I
cool.
admire most about him. And he's like, I just write on my calendar.
Yeah.
Like, it'll be like a Tuesday in like 3 weeks. He's like, all right, I got to follow up with, you know,
Yeah.
with Jackie, with Joe, whomever about this, that, or the
Oh,
other. And
that's
it's like such a
cool.
good idea because you have to put it down. It is that
You
it's their
have
theory.
to. Yeah, because life goes really quick. And you're always like, oh, we've been meaning to get together. And I think it's harder now than ever. Like we have 3 boys and they're starting to get into sports and all that. And it's easy to just say we're always busy, but that's not great, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes you back to if you want the thing, then you might as well make it happen.
Make
and
it
adjust
happen.
it so that it can fit.
Yeah.
Like,
And I think it helps you like appreciate the work too. Cause like you don't feel like, because there was a season where I was really resenting FOUNT because it was like taking all of my energy. So I started to resent it, like especially when things weren't always going great. Like COVID was hard for us here. Who needs a handbag when the world's ending, right? You know, so it made me really resent it. And then now that we have like more work-life balance with a good amount of fun in it, I can really appreciate both.
How did you get out of that dark place, Jackie? Because that's tough.
Yeah, well,
when it's your livelihood too.
Yeah, you know, we just kept plugging along, and a really cool thing happened. I think it was just a blessing from God. Someone called me. I was just waking up so sad. I'm not kidding. I would wake up in the morning and cook my kids breakfast and pour myself a glass of wine. It's like just literally having a wine at 8 a.m. I'm not gonna lie. I was just so sad, and we had to we couldn't have any employees here for months and months and months. And the only people who were allowed in the studio were Philip and I, but we weren't getting any orders, so we didn't really need to come here anyways. And, but I got a call from someone who said, hey, I heard that you know how to sew. We're trying to make masks for the doctors at university hospitals. And I was like, oh yeah, I can help. And as I'm chatting with this woman, I was like, you know, I have an email list of like 20,000 women who all appreciate artisanal things, and they tell me all the time they love our bags because they used to sew. And so a lot of them are like handiwork sewers, right? And I was like, if you want, I could try to get a thing going. And so I organized it where every morning here at the studio, every Saturday morning, they could pick up these kits that the hospital would make kits of everything you needed to make 10 masks. And then they could drive through with their masks on, roll down the window or hold up a sign in the window of how many masks they wanted to make that week. And I just put them in their trunk. Then they'd go home and sew them and drop them off the next week. And I think we made over 14,000 masks.
Oh my gosh.
Jackie. But we did a contest. Whoever could make the most masks won FOUNT bags.
Naturally.
And so there was a girl that did over 600.
Oh my gosh.
Like her and her grandma and her mom did it together. And then people were doing 200, 300. And then, like I said, that one girl did 600. I think it was over 14,000 masks for the hospital workers, which was so rewarding in a time where I felt like, I was like, just give me something to do.
Yeah, the innovation there too, you know? I mean, it's you gotta try. It just takes me back to that. You'll never know. And that reward is incredible. 14,000 is amazing.
Yeah. And I remember thinking this is so silly. They're gonna wear a fabric mask in the hospital and go expose themselves, because that's when everyone was terrified of COVID, right?
Sure.
I was like, well, but if they think this is going to work, let's just do it. So, you just do it. And it turned out to be such a blessing to them.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Isn't that cool? There's a lot of SpongeBob fabric. It was all these donated weird fabrics. It was so funny.
Bizarre.
Retired Christmas patterns and things. It was so funny.
They often in the faith there's that conversation of donating your time, your talent, your treasures, and broken down in those three things. And I think so when your gift of FOUNT, which maybe wasn't a gift at that time, but you get the point. You offering your time and you offering that actual talent of being able to have that and those resources of having the list and knowing how to sew and doing all those things, just putting it to use. I mean, that's what it's right. That to me is what being the entrepreneur is using that mind and doing something
right and just
so tangible.
At a time when you don't know what to do, just do something, right?
Yeah.
It lifted me out of a funk and was able to bless other people. And all the women who were able to participate, they said the same thing. They were like, I've just been at home worrying. I needed something to do, so thanks for doing this. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, good. We all got out of the funk together.
That was one of those times where it was all negative. Just everything was hammering negative.
Yeah. So it was good to have a way to contribute toward making it positive. Yeah. So.
My closing question, Jackie.
Okay, I'm ready.
Do you have any piece of advice or something you want to tailor to a specific group within the audience or the audiences abroad?
That's a really good question. Well, I would say read The Artist's Way. It's incredible. It helps you it makes you find out what is your passion to do. And even if you do it, because I think we're all creative in our own way, whether that's in your cooking or how you garden or how you like to organize your house or all different types of creativity, right? It helps you find out yours. So even if you don't get to do that as your career, you doing that as your hobby just feeds I think the creator made us creative, right? And I think it's our kind of duty to use those skills and talents and like foster and grow them.
Amen.
So yeah, maybe that's it, because it's like if you do the thing that you love, and so in that book it really says like do the things you love to do as a child because it's going to bring you so much joy.
It's incredible.
So,
yeah, it is. Those gifts and talents are so innate to us. So there's totally that reason, like you're saying, we're created by the Creator. Like not using them, we're just wasting that. They're just stifling whatever the potential could be. So
yeah, I think it was on Huberman. Do you ever listen to that podcast?
I do not.
That I think he had a whole one. I think it was on his. He said like people who have hobbies live exponentially longer. Because it's like it just keeps in learning new things. If you have an interest in something, taking that time to learn something new, it just like activates a part of your brain. Because he talks a lot about the brain. I think he's a brain scientist. That it activates, pathways in your brain to develop new things that like fights dyslexia or I'm sorry,
dementia. Yeah.
Dementia.
Yeah.
That's the one thing.
Yeah.
And just different like brain it helps your brain stay strong and.
Yeah, it is true. There's so much research on that. It's so
Yeah.
impressive, like constantly learning something new, and it expands the pathways. You're right. It's
and
so
keeps
good.
your like energy going too, right?
Yeah. It's a task. It's a goal, right? It's like I want to learn this. I want to get better at it.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
That's like kind of how I've always been my whole life. I like to like get a project and do it. I love projects, so I feel like that's something that a lot of times when you hear someone talk about something new, they have so much passion. So yeah, I would say hobbies. Get a hobby.
Get a hobby. Read the Artist's Way. Get a hobby.
Get a hobby.
Let's round it off. Give me a third one, Jackie.
Oh, okay. Hang out with the people who, when you spend time with them, you feel better after you left. You're like, ooh, my bucket's full.
Yeah,
There's this. I used to be a kindergarten teacher, and there was this book we would read, and I read it with my kids. It's called Bucket Fillers.
Okay.
Do you know it?
I do not.
Oh, I gotta send it to you. I have like multiple copies. I'll get you a copy. But the premise is that we all have a bucket, right? You have a bucket, I have a bucket, and our bucket is full of like your happy thoughts and your happy feelings. So we can either be bucket emptiers or we can be bucket fillers. The way we talk to someone at the grocery store, the way we are in traffic, the way we are with our families and our coworkers. You have a choice in every interaction you have to fill their bucket a little bit or to empty their bucket. And so I would say just be a bucket filler.
Be a bucket filler.
Be a bucket
so
filler.
wholesome.
Yeah, it's so wholesome.
It's true too.
And it's like,
the only
why
thing we control.
not?
Yeah,
It feels good because the thing is like when I fill your bucket, then it fills mine.
Yeah.
And it's like it's just so true.
So true.
It feels good to be nice.
We all have those people, right? Where it's like, man, I love that person's energy. And you just leave and it's infectious.
Yeah, like you're like,
Infectious
ooh,
energy.
we just filled each other up. Yeah. So
Jackie, well, you're one of those people, Jackie. I think, I definitely can speak for myself. Thank you. Yeah, and the audience, I'm sure, is feeling the same. So
nice to meet you guys.
It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on, Jackie. Couldn't thank you enough. Coco, you too, of course.
Yeah, she's an angel. She's a little sweet thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not hit the subscribe button yet, you need to do so. All of Jackie's socials and information is down below, so give it a click, check it out, follow her on Instagram, and check out, of course, their website and the FOUNT bags that you will be handing down for generations to come. Definitely pop into their stores out in Crocker Park, and is it at Pinecrest?
Yeah, in Cleveland, we've got
Cleveland,
Crocker Park and Pinecrest. Columbus, we have Easton. And then we've got Alpharetta, Georgia, Southlake, Texas.
Perfect. So if you're in any of those areas or anywhere nearby at all, you definitely need to pop in, shop online, check out all of Jackie and FOUNT socials. Again, I'll have them in the link below. If you're on YouTube, it might be in the pinned comment, depending on whether or not YouTube hates me. This has been another pleasure of an
one hates
episode.
you. It's like impossible to hate you.
Thank you, Jackie.
If someone hates you, then they have something wrong.
I appreciate that. Likewise. Yeah,
Thanks.
Thank you. It's sweet of you. This has been another episode of Chats with Clark. I'm your host, Joe Clark, signing off. Thanks for listening.
Bye.